Hi, folks, and welcome to My Mayor, episode 11. For over 20 weeks now, we've been enjoying getting to know the candidates through the My Mayor series, and I hope you've gotten value out of it and had as much fun as I have. This will be the last episode before the primary, but we certainly look forward to having more conversations with the remaining candidates after the primary. I've been thinking about having a guest host for a while. I've got to do it quite a bit, and we thought it'd be fun to give somebody else a chance. And who better to do that than someone who's held the job themselves? And so we were able to get a little time on the books with former Mayor Rick Baker. And so he'll be guest hosting some of the episodes today. And I look forward to those conversations. I know that they'll be, as everything that Mayor Baker does, thoughtful and fun. And I hope you enjoy them. And we'll see you again after the primary.
Hi, hope everybody's doing well today. My name is Rick Baker. I had the honor of being mayor of St. Petersburg from 2001 to 2010. And I have the honor today of being able to do some interviews for my mayor. And today we have, now we have Marcile Powers. I hear your little one in the background, Marcile. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just about as well as a quarantined working mom can do. So, pretty good.
Well, there's a lot of hats you're wearing all at the same time, and I congratulate you for doing it. So, tell me, you've been on the campaign for a while. We're approaching the primary election. How's everything going? How you feel about the campaign so far?
It's good. I got to make a music video to one of my childhood friends' songs for the campaign. So that's probably a highlight of this campaign season for me. So I'm pretty happy about just the experience of running and getting public speaking experience that I really wanted. I feel really fulfilled from running this campaign.
I've described it as walking through a looking glass when you come into a campaign like this, and all of a sudden it's a lot of big different world, but it's very, very interesting. I loved it because I remember thinking I thought I knew the city real well, and then when I ran for mayor, you really learn the city very, very well. It's a great experience.
Yeah, it was like a quick crash course in how everything in the city works and having to do a lot of homework and research and then be tested on it 2 days later.
I enjoyed it. I remember telling people I was studying the water department in the morning and debating it that night. And so it is. You're learning as you go. Well, we're towards the primary election now. We have the election coming up soon, and I'm sure that as you approach it, you've had a chance to communicate with a lot of folks. I'm going to ask you to talk about three different things. Maybe we'll do it one at a time, but I want you to talk about three different things that you would like people to see about you and your campaign, what you have to offer the people of St. Petersburg.
Well, I definitely think that there's a seventh generational thinking advantage, thinking forward as to how things are going to affect the future generations, not just for the next generation or two, but for hundreds of years in the future, looking at what we're going to do with the environment, how we're going to treat each other, and also how we're going to take care of our own lives.
So on the environment, what do you think are some of the issues that we're a coastal city, of course, and we've had some sewer issues in the past. What stormwater issues, lots of issues. What would you like to bring to the table? What do you think we should be doing with respect to the environment in St. Petersburg?
Well, the number one thing we need to be doing is looking at creating green spaces on all of the high rises moving forward. If we don't do that, just the main parts of the city are going to completely flood. I was trapped in floodways yesterday just during a rainstorm. So we definitely need to increase our green spaces going upwards, and we need to look at we do have a program to send out rain barrels, but we need to get that going on a bigger scale, educate the public more about why it's important to collect rainwater. It's going to help the sewer system a lot, as well as to refortifying the sewer system and putting in some carbon filtration systems there.
So I couldn't agree more that environment is one of the key issues for the city or coastal city. The quality of life is what we're all about. Tell me a second issue you've been campaigning on, a second topic that you've been working on that you'd really like people to say, I like what she's talking about. I'd like to vote for her?
So I definitely I run a small produce business, so food and food sovereignty is very important to me. Creating a co-op on the south side over at the Tangerine Plaza, so that people don't have to rely on outside for sources for food for the city so much. We need to be more resilient in our economy, and think of economy outside of money. Think of economy as what resources you have available to.
Perfect. And how about a third issue? What's a third point that you've been campaigning on and talking on as you've gone around the city?
So, mental health and how we communicate with each other is very important to me. So, I would really like to see more people have opportunities to study the newer modalities in psychology, internal family systems. That's not family systems, that's internal family systems. It's newer, it's is more proactive to dealing with your internal trauma, and nonviolent communication, how we talk to each other, how we can use our words to create peace in our community.
And what about in your background, things that you've done in the past? How would you bring that to the table based on what your experiences have been?
Well, they're both things that I have just been studying for this past year that I've actually delved into throughout the pandemic, and they've helped me considerably with my child, and we have worked some of the MVC language into his IEP plan. And the teacher last year told me that it's not only using that language is not only successful with my son, but it's successful with all the children in our classroom.
That's perfect. Well, and I would guess with the kind of the dialogue that we have in national politics nice nowadays, it'd be nice to kind of get away from that a little bit and actually work with people. So that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. So is there any other item that you'd like to talk about before we break on what your thoughts are about your campaign, about what your experiences have been, and just kind of feel how you feel about where the city is or where we are right now before we close?
I'm just going to stress how important it is going forward for everybody to be conscious about the fact that it's going to get hotter, and we know that we're going to need to have more trees to cool spaces. We're going to have to think, as we think of progressive and we think of growing, we're going to have to think of greening as well, because greening is cooling. Equate greening with cooling as we move forward, and as we build up the city. We need to keep our green spaces so that we don't end up with catastrophic environmental issues.
And I love you. I love that you're talking about trees, and I'm going to break in a second. But I love you talking about trees. We used to have a massive tree program. When I was mayor, we planted 20,000 trees in the city. There's no better way to capture carbon than trees, and to cool things off a bit. So that sounds like a pretty good idea. Well, Marcile Powers, thank you so much for spending some time with us today and talking about your campaign for mayor. I wish you luck coming up in the election, and I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. It was an honor to meet you and get to talk to you, even though it's over the computer. Hopefully, one day we could do it in person.
I would love to do that. I would love to, and I look forward to it. And thanks all of you for watching My Mayor as well. Have a great day.